Welcome, everyone, to the fourth game in our quadruple header today of Southern Virginia Athletics. This one, the fourth and final match, the Southern Virginia women's soccer team in action against the St. Mary's College Seahawks. Art Furler here with assistant men's soccer coach Jeremy King. Jeremy, how are you tonight?
Yeah, it's been a long day, but I'm excited to be here.
It has definitely been that. Appreciate you joining us, particularly since you just finished coaching a game yourself with Coach Patino, the men's action there. Give us, if you would, a little bit of a summary of that one. Tough loss.
You know, it was super happy with the way the boys played today. Our effort was good. We had a few miscommunications on the back line in the first half. Other than that, we played very, very solid. We possessed the ball, moved the ball around, scored a couple unanswered goals. Biggest takeaway that we took away from the game was our future is bright. We're very excited. We saw glimpses of some really good stuff in that game.
Outstanding, and still, I heard you guys talking on the broadcast. A young team, so certainly lots of room to grow there. We're now looking at a shot of the women's team as they line up, and lots of room to grow on that squad as well. We've got starters coming in for the Seahawks. That's number 0, Sydney Larkin, number 5, Maria Bertoni, number 8, Morgan Rusinko, number 9, Liz Mosher, number 10, Lexi McCarty, number 14, Claire Kostelink, number 15, Christy Imms, number 17, Morgan Dorsett, number 19, who's not on our sheet, number 20, Karen Thompson. Sorry, we missed a couple of those, doing our best there as we pan across. And then senior night as well, some big seniors out there for Southern Virginia. First of all, Kenzie Cox in goal. Can't overstate her impact on this team. Also, number 4, Sierra Sorensen. Going down the line, number 8, Gabby Santos. Number 9, Cody Park. And again, not all of these seniors, I should point out. Kenzie Cox, the only one so far starting for the Knights. But as we were saying, freshman Cody Park, number 9. Also, number 14, Alexis Clements. She's a sophomore out of Bandera, Texas. Number 17, Riley Anderson, a sophomore out of Mesa, Arizona, I believe. Number 18, Tatiana Monson, a sophomore out of Orem, Utah. Number 20, Laura Scow. She is a senior, also congratulating and thanking her for her contributions on senior night tonight. Number 22, Alicia Blackham in the lineup as well. She's a junior. Number 26, Kenzie Cottle, a freshman from Sherwood, Oregon. And number 28, Jamia Gamby, a freshman. We've seen her in the lineup, added to the starting lineup, I think, relatively recently. She's had a lot of contributions as well. I know you really like seeing her play, Coach.
You know, I do. I'm actually excited to see her in the starting lineup, see if we can get one of the issues I think the Knights have had lately is starting slow. And I'm excited to see what she kind of brings to that front line, putting the defenders on their heels a little bit early, try and jump out to an early lead for the Knights.
Well, and you've mentioned before how much energy she plays with, how much hustle, and that's something certainly that's starting out, beginning with that, can make a big difference. So starting quick seems to be the pretty normal for her. She always comes on with a lot of energy.
Yeah. She coming into the game there at Marymount there in Washington D.C. when we traveled up there this last week. She played very, very well up there. Put a lot of energy in. Didn't score a goal, but she was a big part of that overtime victory that the Knights had up there. Being able to put a lot of pressure on that back line, take some pressure off of Tatiana Monson, and also Cottle out on the outside. So.
Well, and Tatiana Monson has definitely been one to kind of put the team on her back and really try to carry, and she's shown at times the ability to do that, but it's nice that she hasn't always had to, and particularly with Gamby coming in, as you mentioned, as kind of a pressure release. It lets her contribute more in short bursts rather than having to constantly have that over top of her.
A player like Tatiana, doesn't necessarily, she has the ability to take over a game, but you don't always want that to happen. You want her to be able to, at times, be able to float and take some pressure off, and get goals off the backside. Again, up at Marymount, she scored the first goal in a situation very, very similar to that, where they had the ball on the one side. She was able to float off the side and and they hit a through ball in there, and she was able to score a goal. So I would look, with the pressure being on Gamby today, look for her to get on the outside a little bit and be able to attack the flanks.
Well, definitely attacking is what we really need to do early on. As you mentioned, the Knights slow to start sometimes this season, and really that early aggression, that early pressure is something that I think will benefit the Knights both on the offense and defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, they need to. That's if you want my keys to the game, that's going to be the start right there. Start out fast, get some possession, put some pressure on the back line of the Seahawks, and not be chasing the game. Keep the game in front of them, not chase the game and keep the pressure on them.
Well, as it is senior night, we can talk a little bit about the couple senior contributors that the Knights have. Starting out, I think Mackenzie Cox has gotten a lot of accolades, and justifiably so, for her contributions in goal. She set the record this year for the most saves in SVU history, and we've talked a little bit about the contributions that she's made, how helpful it is to have such senior leadership back in the goal for you. Perhaps a little bit less talk on Laura Scow. Can you talk a little bit about her contributions and the importance she plays on this team?
Equally as important as Mackenzie Cox, Laura Scow plays there on the back line, and she's just solid. She's a vocal leader on the defense, both in training, on the bus, around campus. She's earned the respect of all of the players, the younger players that are playing behind her, and she's brought a ton to this program and really been able to mentor some of these younger players.
Well, it's that mentorship also that's really important. It's kind of that changing of the guard in college sports that goes from one year to the next. It's not like in professional programs where you may have the same team for 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, or maybe not identical team, but the core being the same, because it really is that rotation. In a best case scenario, you're only going to have a player for 4 years.
Oh yeah, for sure, and that's something we just got done talking about on the men's team, is that some of these men and some of these women here on the women's team have been forced into a situation that may be fair, may not be fair, but to having to play very, very young and not have the opportunity to have a mentor ahead of them that they can learn the game from, the speed of the game. So the players playing behind Tatiana and Laura, they have a very, very good situation where they can learn the game, sit back behind that. They're going to be able to benefit from that in the long run.
Well, and speaking of people falling behind and benefiting from experience as well, I think the big question is who will be able to step into the roles, particularly of Kenzie Cox, after she leaves this year. Any notions already on who that might be? Autumn Cox has been playing very, very well in training as of late. I know that coach is very excited about her. There's also some recruits I know that I've heard rumors about. Some different recruits that are coming in. They're looking at several goalkeepers that are going to be coming into camp, some ID camps, and as well as to some of the open houses. Coach Graurock's a fantastic recruiter, and there's no doubt in my mind that he'll get the depth that he needs at that position. Outstanding. Looking forward to that, and we are into the action now. We're about 2 minutes into the game at this point. Possession still hotly contested. It's been a little bit favoring the Seahawks so far, but the Knights, I think, trying to just maintain possession a bit and try to get some early touches, get the girls warmed up and comfortable with what's going on. Yeah,
I like what they're doing right now. You've got Santos holding down the midfield, just playing a little bit of a two-man game there with Monson. That's what they need to do. Take the air out of the game. Get the Seahawks on their heels a bit. Just possess the ball. Get them chasing, and they'll get some balls through.
Well, moving the ball back in this direction now. And just like that, though, goes out of bounds. The Knights, the thing I really like as well is they've really moved the ball around a lot. It seems like they're trying to get everybody touches on it early in this game, focusing on passing it, and nobody's really possessing the ball individually terribly long, which is something the Knights have struggled with as well. Yeah,
that's what Coach Graurock has made a big focus on that as of late. I've talked with him a lot in the office there, and they want to possess the ball. Here's a good opportunity for Monson if she can keep that ball in.
Sprinting up the sideline. Need some help out on it. And that's going to go out of bounds, but the Knights will get possession of that again. Maria Bertoni off of her foot for the Seahawks. And it does slow things down, though. The immediate threat seems to have been defended against, but the Knights not going away.
Hey, just keeping the ball in the offensive third here. Here's a chance for the Seahawks. They've got to be very disciplined. The Knights do defensively, keeping everything in front of them right now. They've got numbers up back there. Good defending right there. It's good team defending.
Yeah, Laura Scow, a great initial defensive effort to kind of break up the momentum, break up the flow, and eventually lead to her team getting the possession back.
Yeah, again, just slow it down. Slow the ball down a little bit defensively. Wait for help. Wait for your friends to come and win the ball for you.
Well, the Knights working well so far as a unit. Again, we've seen at times this season it's been kind of hero ball at times, individuals trying to take over the game, and it's very, very difficult to do, particularly in soccer. You really do need a team effort. And the Knights showing a little bit more today than usual, the ability to do that, to work it around and get everybody involved.
Yeah, first 5 minutes of this half, I've really liked what I see as a coach. Seeing them, they've kind of controlled possession of the game. The Seahawks have had a few chances, to get behind, but they've really controlled the tempo of the game. That's what the Knights need to do tonight. Just control the tempo and take their opportunities. That was a good opportunity. I thought that ball was going to sneak through to Gamby there.
Yeah, it was a good look, and Gamby putting herself in a good position, avoiding the offsides, really just keeping right in between two defenders, and it was a good thought to try to sneak it up in between them.
Yeah, for sure. I think, like I say, I love her pace. They're playing a high line. The Seahawks, if you look back there, they're playing a very high line on their defensive line. That's going to allow time for Gamby to get in behind those defenders.
Well, she definitely has the sprinting ability when those opportunities come to take it and then break past that line for hopefully an opportunity. The Knights looking for a bit of a counterplay for off that last one, but now it's really possession's been in the center third for the last probably minute or so, both teams trying to assert themselves.
Yeah, taking the Knights have had a bit of a surge at the first, but it's kind of slowed down a little bit. Some of you viewers out there that follow the Knights might notice there's a key starter missing tonight for the Knights, and that would be Cora Jewell. Cora Jewell's not in the starting lineup, and that's nothing to do with the coach is upset with her, but in the last game at Marymount, she accumulated her 5th yellow card. And in the collegiate game, if you accumulate 5 yellow cards in a season, you have to sit for one game, and so this is a game she's having to sit for. So that's going to be a key, is to see how can they pick up that slack that Jewell brings in the midfield. How can they pick up that slack and attack through the midfield?
Yeah, it's a big void. She's done very well throughout the season, a sophomore from Highland, Utah, and perhaps that's you hate to see her go out for a game, of course, but it's nice to see other players in the rotation. Perhaps that's why Gamby gets in, as Cox gets the save on that one. But it really does test your depth a little bit and give some more experience, some different looks to the rest of the team. Yeah,
I like the change that Coach Grawrock made. If you notice, Riley Anderson is playing there at normally she plays in the center back with Alexis. He's moved her to that midfield position where Jewell usually plays, slid Scow into the middle where she normally plays on the outside, and Cody Park is now starting on the outside. Good adjustment. All those players that have come on. Cody Park's the new starter. She gets a lot of minutes normally, so it's not really a new starter that's coming in. They're going to miss Cora Jewell because anytime you have an experienced player like that, you're going to miss her. But I like the adjustment that coach has made.
Yeah, and it's also nice every once in a while to shake things up, maybe position-wise, as you're mentioning, as Monson goes in and gets a good defensive stop there, and the Knights still pushing the ball up a bit. It's really good, frankly, so far that we haven't seen St. Mary's really possess the ball on the offensive end. That's something the Knights have struggled a bit with this season as well, is really being down and having they've really been on their back foot a lot, where they're always defending in that front third. But so far, things have really been pretty well even, I think.
Yeah, been a great start. Like I say, this first little bit here for the Knights, kind of a picture-perfect start other than a goal so far. If they can sneak a goal in here really quick, you couldn't have asked for a better start for the Knights.
So that's the question then. From here, how do you do that? What do you think that the Knights need to do? Is it just continuing at this pace, or do they need to, now that they have this initial opening that they started with, do they need to change something up to perhaps get more aggressive, or what do you think?
They're playing a lot of balls to feet, which is good, and anybody who's heard me broadcast, I'm a big proponent of finding feet. But every once in a while, you need to take a shot. And right now, I'd like to see them take a little bit of a shot and attack that back line. Maybe get a ball over the top, get a ball down the wing. There's a ball into Tatiana right there. That's what they need to do right now. Put them on their heels, really attack that back line, and get shots. I know Santos, Monson, Gamby, they can all shoot the ball from outside the 18. They need to test this goalkeeper early right now and put him on.
Well, and interesting as well, we've talked before about quality of shots. Oh, great reverse there. We've talked about quality of shots versus quantity of shots, and sometimes it just helps to get one or two off, even if they're not great, just to, as you said, kind of start asserting yourself, start letting them know that you're there.
Yeah, when I coach young teams especially, there's a couple of things that I look for in a team when I want to get a good start. One of them is get the first corner kick of the game, but also get the first 2 shots of the game. I don't care if they're on frame. I don't care if they're even close. You want to get the defenders guessing what you're going to do, kind of set the tone that, hey, we're here offensively. We're going to attack. We're not going to sit back on things. We're going to attack you, and you're going to have to be ready.
Well, and perhaps even especially if they're not on frame, or if they're from longer out, if they're some of the more difficult shots, you might get the defenders thinking, hey, well, okay, if they're willing to shoot from there, we always have to be on our toes. Great save that time by Cox again. So as you talk about, by the way, getting the first 2 shots in the first corner, the 2 first shots have gone the way of St. Mary's. The first corner, I believe we're still waiting for.
Yeah, still waiting for that. Knights need to be a little bit more assertive in the final third. That last opportunity where Santos tried to pass that ball, she was about 25 yards out. As a coach, I'm okay with her teeing that up and just ripping something. Put something in the area of the goal. Sure. See what happens.
Sure.
Right now, St. Mary's is sitting back when they get the ball in deep there. They're just sitting back and waiting for those. As soon as she hits a couple of those shots, they're going to pull those defenders. That center back's going to step up, and then it opens up that slotting pass like she was trying to play.
Yeah, it's all about finding those different angles, those taking what the defense will give you, and so in that scenario, it's looking to change a little bit, make them respect you a little bit more, respect your ability to score.
Exactly. Kind of like, to use a football analogy, you set up the pass with the run, set up the run with the pass. Same thing here. You shoot from distance to be able to open up that space behind that center back, so she steps up.
Boy, Gamby already all over the place tonight. I'd be interested. We should stick a pedometer on her and see how far she actually runs in a match, because I dare say she puts more mileage on her shoes than anybody out there.
She puts enough mileage on that I wouldn't want to do it.
Oh, great crossover. And again, maybe not the strongest shot, but great penetration that time. Monson going one-on-one and getting all the way to the goal. That in itself, pretty good.
That's what she brings. I talked to Coach. I like having her on the outside because she can go at players 1v1. That's her strength. She's got great speed, great technical ability, and if you can get her isolated on a wing out there with an outside back, I'll take that matchup all day long, because she is so talented and has the ability to get through.
Yeah, and because you never know. You get those one-on-one situations. She had a good juke that time, got by her defender. The defender was able to recover and stay in front of her, but you get that 2, 3, 4 times. One of those times she gets by her, and that's a really good opportunity.
Yeah, speaking of good opportunities, this is a dangerous opportunity. We've got to get organized right now. There we go.
Good clear. Yeah, the Knights at times have also had a difficulty letting players get in front of the goal, taking long stretches of time right out in front of the goal, just passing it around, which can is a lot of wear and tear mentally on your goalkeeper. Kenzie Cox, I'm sure, can handle it better than most, but they're doing a really good job, even when they are on the defensive third, to keep it out of the middle, so that you've got a much more difficult angle.
Yeah. It's called funneling defensively. You want to funnel them outside, keep everything to the outside, block any crosses, but most importantly is everybody's marked up. By funneling them outside, it allows the defenders time to recover and get marked goal side.
Alicia Blackham sending that one out. We've seen Cox start to do that a couple of games ago, so setting up other players to take the kicks for her.
Ball's got to get off her foot a little bit quicker there.
And now the counter coming back from the Seahawks. The Knights not giving up on it, though.
I really liked so far in this game the commitment to defense that Santos has had. She's stuffing a lot of balls in the midfield, not allowing them to get any momentum.
Yeah, that was a great possession stop by Santos that time. continuing to play it even after the other person goes down.
That's a good stop by Scow.
Yeah, solid defense. And, Monson. And she gets a little bit of a shot from behind that time. Looks like that's going to be a foul on Maria Bertoni.
One thing about the skill that Monson has, it puts her in a little bit of a situation where she gets fouled a lot.
Yeah.
She reminds me a lot of a player that we have on the men's team, Josh Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Such great technical ability, speed that players guess a little bit on him and on her, and she ends up getting taken down a lot. So after the St. Mary's or the Marymount game on Wednesday, when we were up there, she came off the field, and I asked her how she was doing. She just had this look. She'd been beat up that game.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she really did. Monson's so tough, though. The same thing happens to her on the basketball court, playing point guard last year for the Knights, and she just really had the ability to – she would drive to the basket and get fouled hard. Sometimes it happened so much she got to the point where she would drive and not even really be intending to shoot, just knowing she was going to get fouled and go to the free throw line. That one sent just a bit high Riley Anderson with that one. So, again, perhaps not on frame, but the Knights still getting a bit more aggressive, sending them in.
Yeah, that's a situation where I'd really like to see her put that on frame, or at least give her team a chance there. I'm okay with that. They just have to lock it in right now.
Long kick from the goalkeeper for the Seahawks, but immediately coming back. And she rolls this one out as the Seahawks trying to put together an offensive possession, but the Knights not having it. And immediately looking to push it back again. Good feed up to Blackham, who sends it ahead.
Looks like that ball had got across the end line, or the touch line there.
Shot there of Alexis Clemens.
Oh, Tatiana with a little bit of a skill check there. See what she can do with it here.
So dangerous. I mean, she's got 3 defenders in front of her, and you can tell she's still looking for an opportunity to score.
Well, she's so comfortable under pressure. The ability to take a player on 1v1, not get rattled, turn. I'd like to see her find her players a little bit more right now, but she definitely is getting in dangerous positions.
It's true. There again, taking that one away and extending the play for the Knights. Coming right back, and the counter is on. And the Knight defense there to collapse on it as well.
There's that senior leadership. She didn't get rattled at all. Was able to play and possess the ball out of the back, not just clear it, but keep possession for her team.
Sierra Sorensen crossing there and getting Alicia Blackham back in the action to send it ahead. Still, both of these teams, neither one particularly, I think, the aggressor. Both teams really coming in about even at this point.
Yeah, it kind of feels like a boxing match. Just kind of feeling each other out right now.
Yep.
Each team saying, "Hey, are you going to take it to me, or am I going to take it to you?"
Yep. So just trading body blows and seeing who's better conditioned, and I think it's appropriate analogy that way too. Both teams kind of pacing themselves, neither really getting out in a full-blown sprint either, but both teams, as you said, trying to feel each other out and see. It really seems like neither one knows whether or not they should win this game, so they're playing a little defensively and not taking a lot of risks.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Knights, like I say, possess the ball, go at them right now. They're waiting for. They're sitting back defensively, waiting for you. You've got speed up top, skill up top with all three: Cottle, Monson, and then Gamby, Jamila Gamby. Go at them right now. You've got the skill up there.
Cox again corralling one, and we'll send it back out for the Knights. And I believe we have the referees getting involved at this point. Not sure what the call was there. Offsides, perhaps?
Yeah, the back line stepped up just in time. That was good defending.
Yeah, it's a very heady play. It's dangerous when you see that and immediately have to decide, am I going to go defend or am I going to go pretty much the opposite way and forego defending, hoping that they pick up the penalty. But smart play.
Yeah. Alexis on that back line. There's so much skill, so much intelligence, soccer IQ. I've been very impressed watching the Knights since I've been out here.
Well, while we have a minute, why don't you talk about that a little bit, the transition that brought you to Southern Virginia and your experiences since being here, Coach?
You know, first and foremost, I want to thank the university. I've had a fantastic opportunity since I've been out here. I came out with the men's program. We were, I believe, 6 games into the season, and there was a little bit of a coaching change at the as an assistant coach. Coach Patino and I are friends from Utah. We coached with the same club, Celtic FC, there in Orem, Utah. And when he got the job out here, I was so happy for him, and kind of just built that foundation, that friendship. And he gave me a call one day. I was actually at a game with my U12 team. He called me. He says, "Do you have some time to talk? I want to talk with you for a few minutes." Called him back and told me that they needed to they were making a little bit of a change. One of the assistant coaches. Sorry, they want to watch that action.
Yeah, dangerous opportunity there, but lots of Knight defenders back. But the threat's still not completely abated.
Yeah. So long story short, Coach Patino asked me if I could come out here and coach with him, help out. Much to my pleasure, my wife has been a fantastic rock back home in Utah. When I told her about the opportunity that I had, that I would have to leave my kids, I have 2 daughters at home, there wasn't even a question from her. It was, "You're going. We just have to figure out and make sure that it would work." And so, I want to publicly thank her. It's been a great opportunity that I've had out here to come out and meet a lot of new people, coach at this level. I've had a lot of experience coaching club there in Utah, but this is my first experience at the collegiate level, and it's been a blessing for me and a lot of fun that I've had as my time kind of draws near. I told my wife the other day I'm really going to miss things out here. The university's been great, the athletes have been great, coaches, the staff, everybody's been fantastic to me. So, been a great opportunity for me, one that I'm going to miss when I go back home, but I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, I'm sure Coach Patino and the rest of the soccer program has been grateful to have you out here as well. Questions then, we are coming up pretty quickly on the end of the season here for both the men's and the women's teams. Your thoughts on what it's going to take for the last couple of games, how you finish strong from both the men's and women's team. We talk with the men's team. I can't speak so much for the women's team. I talk with the men's team, and we've tried to take a little bit of an attitude change this last couple of games. Is that these boys are young, and they've got a great, fantastic opportunity here to play the game that they love, and take the pressure off. There's no pressure on them right now. When they're going into all of these games, people across the country aren't really expecting them to do a whole lot. And so I want them just to go out and have fun and enjoy it and learn and build for the future. Like I said before with the men's program, we've seen glimpses this year that if we can build on that, which I know that Coach Patino will, if we can build on the experience that they've had this year, the future is so bright. Not in just a conference magnitude, but in my opinion, a national magnitude. Wow.
The recruiting class, I know, in fact, a couple of recruits in Utah that we've been talking with and in discussions. I've been following that. Utah just had their state cup championship this year, and a couple of recruits won state championships today.
Wow.
So I'm super excited to those guys. You guys know who we're talking about. If you're listening, congratulations.
But of course, just to clarify, we can't actually say names, NCAA regulation stuff. So we're not just being coy. There's no reason we're foregoing any names.
But the nice thing about it is that athletes are really wanting to come to Southern Virginia. When I specifically talk, or when Coach talks about players and talks to players, there's players that are really excited to come out here. and that really gets me going, because if we can get some of these players that really want to come out here and buy into the system that Coach Patino has put in place, and Coach Graurock as well. In a couple of years from now, like I said, it's not just a conference; it's a national powerhouse that I think that we can build out here. Coach Lamb has done a great job bringing the attitude of the athletic program. He knows what it takes to run a big name college program. And
I guess Notre Dame's pretty big, huh?
A little bit.
It's up there.
The facilities that we have here, the field up here at Southern Virginia is amazing. To be able to play on this every day and to be able to train here, it's fantastic, and players see that. And they're drawn to this program, so I'm very, very very excited about the future here.
Yeah, very big upsides from a lot of perspectives. You've got Coach Graurock. You can see him getting some coaching minutes in there, but you're right. There's a lot of great things going on here at Southern Virginia in the athletics program and outside of it. It's just it's a special place, and I think. As you talk about going to the future, it's kind of cyclical, because the more success you get, the easier it is to recruit. The more you can get those perennial areas or schools or organizations that are familiar with you, and the easier it is to recruit out of them. And the more you do that, the more success you get. So I really appreciate that from the very beginning this year, Coach Patino has talked a lot, and Coach Graurock has for years, about not just building a team but building a program. So that year in, year out, you continually improve, even if it's not necessarily your record, but you're improving in your habits, you're improving in your practice routines, things like that. And speaking of that, the Knights getting a little one-touch drill in there for quite a while.
That was good possession. I was watching that here.
Yeah.
That's what they need to do. They're getting in dangerous positions there. I'll give one more plug here for the university here at Southern Virginia. If you're listening to this, some of these recruits, male or female recruits that are watching, looking for a fantastic atmosphere to play at. Mm-hmm. I text my wife the other day. On Fridays we have devotionals where all the student body goes and meets and has a devotional. And Via Sikahema spoke yesterday. It was. I was blown away. Just the opportunity to have that. We had Nashville Tribute Band do a fireside for us the other day. Via Sikahema, we've got an executive from Bain Company that is coming out to speak. Bain Capital is coming out to speak with us next week. So if you're looking for a fantastic campus life, as well as great opportunity to play collegiate athletics, you really need to come out and visit the university, visit the campus. You won't be disappointed, that's for sure, because I haven't been.
Oh yeah, and just even over the last few years, of course, Mitt Romney coming out and speaking at graduation not too long ago. We've had big names from the church. We've had big names from industry. I was here. It's been, I guess, about 4 years ago. Stephen R. Covey came out and spoke here and did a lot. We've had our fair share of general authorities and so forth. It's really just a special place, and it's interesting because a lot of that you'll see at BYU as well. A lot of that you'll see at other church schools or large organizations. But when you talk about Vi Sikahema coming out and speaking, he's talking in a room to 500 people. You're a lot closer. You don't have to look at a monitor to be able to look up and say, "Hey, I know who that guy is."
When you've got Mitt Romney, or when you've got somebody speaking to you at BYU, nothing against BYU, but after, are you allowed to go shake their hand and take pictures with him?
Yeah.
The opportunity here is such a close knit. I was able to meet. I had met Via before. I came out here, but the students, he's sitting there talking with them and speaking with them, and just being able to shake his hand and be around him, just a fantastic opportunity for these young kids.
Yeah, there's opportunities all the time. I was actually a student worker here on campus when I was just talking about Stephen R. Covey, and he came out, and I actually got to have lunch with him, and I'm just like, wait. Yeah. Seriously? But it's interesting.
Don't people pay a lot of money for that?
Yeah, exactly. and that's what's so interesting about it, is there's these environments. Wow, bodies hitting the floor all over the place. But but there's those opportunities here where you may have a chance to meet with and talk with people face to face that you would get to see in other scenarios. But it's this close knit family here at Southern Virginia that when you bring big name folks into, they don't realize that. It's not a big thing anymore. This is a family culture. This is what I do.
Yeah.
So that they come in and they participate in that, and are just friendly and personable and one-on-one in opportunities you would never get to see elsewhere.
Yes. Yep. I think they're going to turn this into the Southern Virginia talk show. Right?
For real.
Yeah. We've got a soccer game going on here, and it's a good one. I've been watching them play as we've been talking here. Really like right now how Southern Virginia's taking control of this game. I feel as a soccer coach, and right now Southern Virginia is doing what they need to do. They're possessing the ball. They're very close to sneaking one in here.
Yeah, the play has definitely favored the Knights so far in this one, and it's been relatively quiet as far as shots on goal, particularly recently, and I believe we're still waiting. Haven't had a corner kick now as 2/3 of the first half is away. But rather than, I think more than anything, it's just been a very close match, very even teams.
Yeah, it's been a good game. Right now, it's going to be which team can get through and get that 1v1 with the goalkeeper. I think. The middle of the field has been the strong point for both teams. They've been able to possess the ball around, trying to sneak through that back line. That was a good shot there, just a little bit over by the Seahawks. But I think it's going to be the first team to be able to get that ball through on the ground and get a 1v1 chance right now is the team that's going to go up.
Yeah, and you see Kenzie Cox there. Leading the troops a bit, and also you could tell she had fallen back, so if that shot was not particularly high, she was in a position to gather it in, but obviously that one airmailed a bit well beyond the top crossbar.
Those are ones you like to see as a goalkeeper. Just keep going over my head.
Right. But the Knights are, at this point, extending possessions a little bit, moving it around, but the Seahawks now the same thing, and really just kind of tit for tat.
Yeah, the thing that I've been impressed with, though, is even when the Seahawks are having a little bit of possession, Southern Virginia is getting back defensively. They're keeping all their numbers behind the ball. We've got multiple numbers up situations behind the ball, and it's outside the box. If they were possessing the ball inside the 18, that I'd have a little bit cause for concern. But right now, all the possession they're having is out 30, 25, 30 yards out, keeping everything in front. Where if they do hit a shot from out there, most likely Mackenzie Cox will be able to clean it up pretty easily.
Yeah, and the Knights have done a good job getting in passing lanes and getting coverage as well. You can tell even the passes they have been able to put together when they're stringing the offense have been dangerous, have been contested, have been unclean.
Yeah. And on the flip side of the coin, there, the opportunities that the Knights have been getting have been shot where you feel like, okay, hey, we may break through here. The opportunities that the Seahawks have gotten aren't. They have not to this point been really dangerous situations. Again, everybody's behind the ball. Ball gets played through, we're able to see it out of bounds. I like the organization that we have on that back line.
Yeah, the other thing I really like that time, Laura Scow, you could tell she was following it the entire way because a Seahawk player was trailing that. I think that was Teresa Paz was following that. Wasn't sure whether or not she was actually going to go for it, but just in case she decided to, Scow there trailing to block it out. Ultimately didn't need to, but was there just in case. There we go. Once again, the Knights in the passing lanes, really contesting any possession.
We've had a sub there. Looks like Valerie Cruz has come in, if I'm looking right. She's come on for Gabby Santos in the midfield. One thing that Cruz brings, she's a free kick specialist. She'll hit balls from outside the box. She scored a great goal. I believe it was at Christopher Newport off of a free kick from probably 30 yards out. And scored, and she can really serve a really nice ball in there. So look for them to take advantage of that and get balls into the box.
Monson with a great move there, but perhaps taking on a little too much. She beats the first defender, but tries to go past 2 and 3 as well. You mentioned Cruz.
Oh, there she's in.
Oh, and just shanks that one. You could tell she immediately, her expressions showed she wasn't real happy with how that one turned out.
That's one of those situations where she's had several opportunities, and all of a sudden she finds herself in front of the goal and go, wow, nobody's here.
Right.
And just take a little bit of a breath, Tatiana.
Yeah, I could be so startled by, wow, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen.
But again, that opportunity came from good soccer. The Knights had possessed the ball, moved the ball through the midfield, a couple of 1-2 touch passes, and then they find themselves in front of the net. I tell my players all the time that if you move the ball, possess the ball around, play good soccer, all of a sudden you're going to find yourself standing in front of the net and say, oh, wait a minute, I need to score. It'll just come.
Yeah, well, while I was playing soccer, I got the opportunity to score a goal all of a sudden. Instead of, hey, I've got to score a goal, I've got to look for opportunities, and then
exactly.
Next thing you know, that the rest of the game of soccer goes by the wayside.
If you look at momentum right now, the Knights have really done a good job of quietly taking over momentum. It hasn't been a big shift, but it's just slowly they've taken over the possession. And even right here, you look at the attack that the Seahawks have gained. It's on their own half of the field. Right now, we're able to win possession in the offensive third and see what we can do.
There's Sierra Sorensen moving it up. Back over to her, getting everybody involved again. That's Alicia Blackham playing it up to Monson again. And Monson, you can tell after that last one, she wants another shot at this.
She'll get her opportunities today. Riley Anderson with the ball.
Sends it from long. And the goalie able to collect it. Well played that time by Sydney Larkin, but opportunities still coming up. The Knights pushing ahead.
Defensively, they've got numbers back.
Oh, but you're right. Over time, the Knights have definitely favored the more the offensive side of the field a little bit more, working the ball down. And you can tell you're right. It hasn't been particularly flashy, but they really are moving together a little bit more, and maybe even just maybe too quietly, too subtly for the St. Mary's defense to recognize as well, which is why Monson had that opportunity a moment ago.
Yeah, you don't want to force anything right now. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep possessing the ball. Find yourself in opportunities. Here's the thing. It's a long game. We've talked before. It takes just a couple of seconds to score a goal. Don't force it. Keep going. Take the momentum away from St. Mary's. Your goals are going to come. You can win 1-0, and it's still a win.
Yeah, and even 0-0 going in at the half is probably all right. Of course, you want to score one, but as the game goes on, the home field advantage becomes more and more potent, and not having the travel beforehand and all of that, the wear and tear on your body, I imagine the longer the Knights stay in this one close at all, the better it is for them.
Oh, for sure. And not only that, you're wearing that team down. That back line is going to start getting tired, and where before, hey, I'm going to step over to this side, maybe now I'll reach my foot over to get the ball. It takes a little bit of a bad bounce, and the Knights find themselves on the end of a ball. Mm-hmm. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're going to wear down the defense, and they're going to get opportunities. It might not be this half, but they're going to get opportunities in this game.
Well, it's interesting. This is, I think, the third game today that I've commentated, and at least two of them we've talked about how much more energy it takes to play defense than it does to play offense. Because on the offense, you know when plays are coming, you know when you really need to assert yourself, and you know when you can relax a little bit and just kind of have a token effort. Defensively, you're always having to be on alert. You're always reactionary, and you're always having to assume that the ball's coming your way, that the play is coming at you. And so in this case, the Knights really benefit from having a lot more offense because, again, the longer that goes on, the more that'll take out of the legs of the Seahawks.
Yeah, nobody, to be honest with you, I'm a former player, and nobody likes to play defense.
That's funny because in the football game I was saying, that wore on me a lot because I played defensive back. Well, substitution's going to come in on this one as well. Looks like Cammie Miller, I believe. coming into the lineup for Southern Virginia. She will enter the game. We had a substitution from St. Mary's as well. Apologize, missed that number. We are under 10 minutes to play now.
Did Cammie come in? It looks like Cammie came in for Riley Anderson there. I like what Cammie brings to the game. I want to see him play to her feet a lot. She can really set up her players. She plays great through balls, especially with her size. She can win balls in the air. I think that's a good sub right now, especially too because she can hit a ball from outside.
Yeah, we are at 6 minutes now remaining in this first half. Score still tied at 0-0. The Knights, I'm sure, would love to close out the half with a goal. Be big momentum-wise, take something into the locker room, something positive. But either way, it's been a great half of soccer for them so far.
Yeah, a goal would be nice right now. Not necessarily needed. The Knights, because Coach Grorock's going to go into halftime, and even if they're tied 0-0 right now, the speech is, hey, we've dominated possession in this game. We've had opportunities. They haven't really had any chances on goal. And take that into the second half. The Knights have historically in this season been a second half team. Play a much better soccer in the second half, and I think they'll fight a little bit more in the second half, get more chances as they wear down that defense.
Yeah, and if you look at the stat sheet, you can see the Knights actually down shots on goal to St. Mary's. The Knights with 2, St. Mary's with 4, but all 4 of those, or 3 at least, pretty soft, pretty easy saves for Cox.
Stats can be deceiving. You have a shot from 40 yards out that rolls to Cox. They consider that a shot. I look at dangerous opportunities, and really St. Mary's hasn't really had a real dangerous opportunity. Like the Knights had, they've had 2 or 3 that this game could be 2-3-0 right now.
Mm-hmm. Well, and as you continue to get those possessions, as you continue to stack up those opportunities, as we see the throw in from Mackenzie Cottle, eventually pay dirt will be hit. The law of large numbers, you will collapse back to the medium or to the average eventually, and so those shots will start going in.
That's what we all hope for, right?
Yes, in this scenario it is. But by the same token, the 4 shots from St. Mary's, you can imagine the same. So you just hope that your math is better than your math in the end. Shout out to Gertrude Kraut and the math program here at Southern Virginia as well. I'm sure she could tell us a lot more about the law of large numbers and statistics and all of that as well.
There you go. I guess Riley Anderson is still in the game there. I did not see. Look, I'm wondering if they pulled and put somebody else on in that back line.
Yeah, we'll have to check that out. You've got Cody Park, you see, sending that one in. And Gamby hustling for that one. Looks like St. Mary's is really committing a lot more players to the defensive side of the ball over the last few minutes as well, Coach.
Yeah, I think they noticed the same thing that we were noticing, that Southern Virginia was really possessing the ball and kind of holding the ball in the offensive third. They dropped some numbers back. I think they're just trying to get into halftime right now. It's 0-0, and it's true. They've pulled the right back. Looked like they pulled Alicia Blackham off the right side, put Laura Scow on the outside, and put Riley Anderson back in the center back when they brought Cruz in.
Well, and it's a good sign when the players or the other team collapse defensively and realizing the threat that you pose, a sign of respect that they want to pull back and focus on that rather than trying to get in and score before the halves themselves. The Knights, though, doing exactly the opposite as Monson works on the sideline there.
Yeah, this is a key next 2 minutes. If they can put some pressure on here, it would do huge for the Knights if they can get something in the back of the net before the half ends.
And a good header towards the goal, but nobody there to help clean it up.
Yeah, a little bit of a miscommunication there. You've got to have somebody on the goalkeeper when that header goes through.
2 minutes now remaining in the first half. The Knights still tied 0-0 with St. Mary's College Seahawks.
We've got Shirley Land Morales that has come in on that right wing for Mackenzie Cottle as well.
Yeah, the Knights, we've mentioned, trying a few different looks, seeing what works. Laura Scow, one of the two seniors here on senior night, playing that one ahead, and it will go right back out. Looks like St. Mary's is content to really just clear balls. They're not particularly looking to convert back to offensive possessions. It looks like they just want to do what they can to just clear it out.
Yeah, and the Knights really need to take advantage of this right now, because the Seahawks really are just packing it in, trying to get out of this half without getting a goal scored on them. Really take advantage, attack that back line. When you've got numbers back in there, it's not something they're used to. They can get discombobulated a little bit confused, not what they're normally playing. Really take advantage of that.
Yeah, when they go on the defensive, when they start falling back, it's definitely the time to advance, the time to strike. We are now under a minute to go, though, and the opportunities to strike are very limited and quickly fading. A little bit of a tie-up there.
Coach Graurock's got to be happy, though, with what he's seen in this first half. They've had plenty of opportunities. Again, there's really been no dangerous situations that they've been put in the back. Take that momentum into halftime, build on that, and I'm sure he'll have them ready for the second half. Cody Park just steps up and clears that ball. That's how you clear a ball out of pressure.
Yeah, sent that one up high. Gamby still fighting for it as we wind down, and it appears that will be your halftime score. The Southern Virginia Knights and the St. Mary's Seahawks go to the half at 0-0. We're going to break away here for the half, and we will be back with the second half action. The countdown will be on the screen. We'll leave that up for you so you can see when the second half is about to start. We'll join you back here in about 12 minutes.
Okay. If we could invite everyone to turn your attention to the field, we'd like to recognize our two seniors here on senior night. First, we'd like to recognize Mackenzie Cox from Alpine, Utah. Cox has been a part of the women's soccer program for 4 years and has spent over 4,000 minutes in the box. She first joined the Knights in 2011 and has succeeded on and off the field. Cox broke the all-time saves record during this season's matchup against Bridgewater College. She continues as the all-time saves leader with a total of 240 saves, and currently she ranks 5th in the CAC in saves and 6th with a .779 save percentage. As a junior last season, Cox had a season best 77 saves. She has earned 6 shutouts, including 3 against CAC opponents, and was named CAC Defensive Player of the Week on October 6th. As a scholar athlete, Cox was named to the United States Collegiate Athletic Association All-Academic Team as a sophomore and junior. After the 2013 season, she was named to the CAC All-Academic Team and has been named to the President's and Provost list for multiple semesters. Cox is a business management and leadership major and plans to graduate with a bachelor's degree in December. Tonight, Mackenzie is being escorted by her husband, Tyler Cox, her mom, Amy, dad, Rob, sister, Kylie, and grandparents, Karen and Kent Lundquist. Please give a round of applause for Mackenzie Cox. We would also like to recognize our senior Laura Scow from Plymouth, Utah. Scow first joined the Knights as a freshman in 2010. As a freshman, she helped lead her team to an outstanding 11-6-1 record and a 2-0 record at the USCAA National Tournament, finishing in 3rd place overall. After the 2012 season, Scow left to serve a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the Chile Santiago North Mission. She spent the majority of time as a defender for the Knights. She had 1 assist and 2 goals during her career and 1 game-winning goal. As a defender, Scow helped the Knights earn 17 shutouts over the past few seasons. As a scholar athlete, Scow was named to the United States Collegiate Athletic Association All-Academic Team as a sophomore and junior. She was also named to the President's and Provost list every semester. Laura is majoring in English and minoring in music and will receive a bachelor's degree in May of 2015. Tonight, Laura is being escorted by her best friends Laura Richens and Randy Klein. Let's give one last round of applause for our 2 seniors, Mackenzie Cox and Laura Scow.
Welcome back, everybody, as we get ready to start the second half of Southern Virginia women's soccer. Again, the fourth game of our quadruple header, which doesn't even include the volleyball match we did last night as well. This one, the Southern Virginia women's soccer team tied with the St. Mary's Seahawks 0-0. To give you a quick recap of the other events of the weekend. First, the Southern Virginia women's volleyball team in action last night versus Lynchburg College. Defeated them 3-1. That's the second time they played them this year, beating them 3-2 at Lynchburg and 3-1 there. Then earlier today, the Southern Virginia men's football team playing here against Morrisville State. Tough game for them there. Led at one point in the first quarter 8-6, but ultimately succumbed and lost by about 20. From there, we have the volleyball game that the Knights played today, the all-important game versus their conference opponent, Wesley, the Wesley Wolverines. They won that one 3-0 pretty handily, able to overcome their propensity of slow starts and come out and win in straight sets there, thereby securing their post-conference berth. And because of the loss of Marymount to Christopher Newport, assuming they take care of business this next week and win their last couple of games, will be a second seed in the tournament, giving them a bye in the first round, and then hosting a game. Be a great opportunity for them too. And then right before this one, we had Southern Virginia men's playing St. Mary's as well. They lost that one. I believe the final score of that was 2-7. My goodness, it's been a busy weekend. Art Verler here with Jeremy King, assistant coach of the men's soccer team.
It's been a good day of sports here, though. It's been a lot of fun to be around. I was at the football game this morning. At one point, that game was I think 5-6.
Yeah.
And I looked over. I said, "It's coming from them." I'm a big football fan, and that's an odd score.
Yeah, I had a couple people as I was going around doing things that showed up late said, "How did we get 5?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, and they're like, "Oh, do we get a safety?" And I'm like, "Not in the way you'd expect." Yeah. So you got to see the very rare extra point blocked and returned, which we thought would bode well for the Knights, but unfortunately not enough to help them win that game.
Yeah, but it's been fun. It's been fun for fun for the university and also the students here. It's great student support at the football game. We had great turnout to our men's soccer game, and I haven't been out there to see how the turnout is with the women's game, but I would suppose that it would be pretty good. I know there's a lot of families in town. I had the opportunity to meet and visit with Mackenzie Cox family, who is all here, the sister and mom and dad. So it's been good to see them on campus. Getting ready for the kickoff here. Looks like St. Mary's will kick off going left to right.
Yeah, you mentioned families in town. Again, it is senior night here for the women's soccer team. So acknowledging the contributions made by Mackenzie Cox and Laura Scow as well, the two seniors. And also, you talk about families in town. We were able to meet with Hannah Phillips' parents in town at the volleyball match last night. I presume they stuck around for the game today, able to see a couple of big wins there for the Knights. And you mentioned it is a great experience for them, particularly now as the seasons are wrapping up. There's one more soccer contest coming up October 28th, I think, this next week. So you get to see the Lady Knights in action then. But great for that, and volleyball wrapping up soon as well. Men's soccer wrapping up, football with a couple of contests left, and then from there we go right into basketball. But that starts pretty slowly this season, and then picks up more in January.
Yeah, the Stoddard Activity Center was hopping last night. I was at the volleyball game. We had all of our men's soccer team there watching there and supporting the Lady Knights there. A lot of fun. It's fun to watch those girls get excited about the games.
Yeah, and it's fun as well. You mentioned the crowds that are out here. I was really appreciative of. I saw the the volleyball team coming up here as a group, or at least a bunch of them earlier today, to come out and support the football team, despite them having a game a few hours later. And then later at the volleyball game, seeing some of the football players trickle in after their game was over and come out and support. It's really a great thing to see that camaraderie between the Southern Virginia athletic teams.
Yeah, for sure. And as coaches, we try to encourage that. We want to show our support. We know, and not just because we think that they'll come support us, but because it's a small community here, and we want to show them the support and let them know that people do want to watch them play.
Well, and there's a fair bit of overlap too. Not something you see at a lot of institutions, but we've talked on the broadcast even tonight about Tatiana Monson playing women's basketball for the Knights. We talked about Ben Canaveri from the Southern Virginia men's football team also playing for the basketball team. So a lot of multi-sport athletes as well. So nice to see that community building.
Yeah, we've got that's something you don't see at a lot of universities, and I've really liked being a part of that here at Southern Virginia. We've got on our soccer team, Brahima is going to be playing on the basketball team this year, as well as, and I may be missing some. So boys, if I'm forgetting something, I apologize. But you've got Hunter that it will be playing. He'll also be wrestling, on the wrestling squad with them. So it's fun to see them.
Yeah, and you mentioned wrestling as well. It's interesting. This will be one of the first times, at least in recent years, that we've had Southern Virginia broadcast some home wrestling. They'll have one tournament here. Great save there by Cox. We'll have one of those here in the month of November to get a home contest there for wrestling as well. And little known fact, I think we've mentioned once this season, the very first Southern Virginia athletics broadcast that we did, a wrestling event about 3 years ago.
I was going to say, I remembered you talking about that, didn't you? You were broadcasting it, right?
I was. It was basically me and Chris Pendleton just trying to. It was one of those, hey, I bet with the cameras down in the library and with my. Me and my fellow nerds in the nerdery, we can probably find a way to make this work, and we did, and from that has grown everything else that we do.
Well, myself, my family, and I'm sure all the viewers that are watching right now, we thank you.
Well, there's been, I appreciate that. There's been so many people involved in that, so many people to thank over the years, particularly recently. The more we do, particularly with simultaneous broadcasts and stuff, the more people get involved, the more the financial deficit crops up with what we need to spend to get that done. Grateful for the support of all those involved, particularly Jason Lamb, Brett Garcia. Oh gosh, I hate to even have started listing names now because there's too many people involved, but Joseph Whetstone as well, Daniel Whitehead, there's Deidre Dryden, just all over the place, so many different people, Chris Pendleton as well, Craig Reese, we've given him a shout-out before, our programmer for,
Knights got lucky on that one. We missed a mark on that backside. That was a dangerous chance for the Seahawks.
Something around that spot, that's right where Monson had the good opportunity in the first half and kind of shanked one off there too. But we also want to give a shout-out while we have a minute we have a couple of donors who have helped us out, in particular one of them who's paid for almost all of the equipment over the years and some of the personnel as well. Has asked to remain anonymous, but has deemed it the Vic Athletic Broadcasting Grant. So grateful for people who see what we do here and appreciate it and want to see more and are willing to contribute. Interesting fact about the individual there. A lot of people think, it's a parent of a player or a parent of or an alumni from one of these, and frankly, that's not the case. Just a friend of the university, someone who really appreciates what we're doing here and really loves sports and learned or I should say, developed a great relationship with their father by watching sports together growing up, and wanted to do something to help people to connect with their kids through sports, and this is just a great way to do that.
Yeah, the community here around in Buena Vista, as well as the alumni that's attended this university, is very tight knit. As we've got a little bit of a dangerous situation here, I'll speed this up. But just for example, with our men's program, we've had a gentleman that played soccer here a couple of years ago, has followed us to two of our last road games, and actually provided the men's team, just with a little bit of a snack after the game, to be able to, he wants to give back and says, hey, we want to, we want to help out here, and people may not realize, but that means a lot to the boys as they're getting on the bus to be able to have something and food to be able to eat on the way home. But that's one of the things that I just love about this university.
Yeah, the food is always good, but so is the gesture. So is that camaraderie between the generations of I was there, and you know what? I remembered as a player, gosh, it would have been really nice to have this. And whether it's a snack after the game or whether it's, I wish I would have had the opportunity to broadcast or have my parents watch me play. Just so appreciative for so many people who've contributed both to the athletics teams, the university in general, and to our broadcasting efforts.
Yeah, for sure. The Knights need to clean things up a little bit right here. The Seahawks have
Gull Hawk,
Yeah, they've had a little bit of possession right now. And we need to get the ball back on our half, take the air out of the ball a little bit, knock the ball around and possess, and get them chasing, because we're in a little bit of a dangerous situation right now in this game.
Yeah, we talked a lot in the first half about how the Knights ramped up pressure and really controlled the tempo of that half, and how the dangerous opportunities, as you put it, weren't really there for St. Mary's. But you're right; they've not only had some shots on goal, but some dangerous ones, some very narrow misses where the Knights have been fortunate to not be down.
Yeah, we're lucky right now. We're not down 1-0 off that last opportunity.
Very true. To be fair, at the same time, St. Mary's lucky they're not down 1 or 2 from some missed opportunities by the Knights in the first half, but just shows you the balance between these two teams and how close it has been.
It has been a very, very close, hard-fought game. One mostly in the midfield. Most of the battles have been between the boxes, which that's nice. Every team wants to keep those battles there. But this next, in my opinion, this next couple of minutes is going to be very, very important. The next 5-6 minutes to see if the Knights can take control, get a little bit of possession, and get off of their heels. Because right now their back line's on their heels.
Yeah, save by Kenzie Cox immediately with the throw out to Mackenzie Cottle, trying to get her to go ahead, perhaps not realizing there's a defender right on her. And the Knights really just trying to, as you said, possess the ball, extend their offense a little bit, and get some touches in to start creating opportunities. Because if you don't have possession of the ball, except for the opportunity on perhaps a counter, really difficult to move down the field and get a good strike.
Yeah, you definitely can't score if you don't have the ball.
I don't know. I guess there's you could get a play off a defender. The guy kicks it back. Goalie botches the play. It could happen, but probably not the kind of thing you want to rely on.
I have a team at home, a U13 team that I stepped aside from while I came out here to coach, and they were playing today for the league championship. If they won, they took first place. Mm-hmm. It's a hard fought game, and to your credit, you just hit the nail. We got scored on by a ball. We played it back to our own goalkeeper. She went to clear it. Mm-hmm. We'd had possession the whole time, and she was out of her box, and then they hit a shot right back, a long shot. They had the ball for a half a second and scored, won the game. So that one hit home for me.
To our viewing audience at home, I didn't actually know that was the case. I'm not trying to rub anything in here, just unfortunate. But hey, still, nothing wrong with second place.
So some of my players on the men's team here were asking me, Coach King, what is going on? I said, my team just lost. So I'll get my head straight here. Just give me a second. I just found out. So this team that I'd been coaching it's been a lot of fun. I took this team, and it's been a team that hasn't had a lot of success, and so I've been very happy. This team, 2 losses on the season now, and taking second place, moving up to a Premier Division. So I just wanted to see the girls have a lot of success and be happy there. But one way or the other, we're moving up to the Premier Division.
Ooh. Great clear out on the last option by Mackenzie Cottle, but that one a very, very risky cross there. The Knights again fortuitous to come out of that one without a goal.
They've got to clean things up in the back right now. Right now, any time a defender is running facing their own goal, that's not a good situation. Mm-hmm. Just get organized. I'd like to see Mackenzie Cox get the girls organized back there, calm them down a little bit, and just relax. That's the bottom line. Just relax.
Well, the Knights definitely do seem a bit more tense now, but have a reason to be. Oh, there's a good possession, though. A little bit of a triangle moving up, but immediately cut off again.
That's what Riley Anderson brings you to the midfield. I like her playing in the midfield. She brings a lot of energy, but also her technical ability is very, very good, and she can slow the game down and put balls at her feet, and she's going to connect passes.
Well, that pass just a bit awry. The Knights looking to put something together in the way of a counter, but possession immediately coming back over to the Seahawks. And the Knights getting back again. At least they're breaking up. It's not a long possession now by the Seahawks, but multiple smaller ones that the Knights are at least getting in the way of and slowing them down, breaking up that flow.
Yeah, the last minute and a half's been a lot better. What I'd like to see from the Knights. Doesn't take a lot to possess the ball and to slow the game down. Just those little 3-4 pass possessions are going to build to 5, 6, 7 passes as they build confidence. You can't flip the switch and just go boom, boom. Mm-hmm. It's got to be something you build it up. We're going to connect 2 or 3 passes here and try and get in. Once you build that confidence, we've done that. We can build on that, kind of take over the game.
Well, and you can once you get those 3 or 4 passes as well, you get opportunities to transition from just trying to extend possession to breakdowns in the defense, to where you can move something up the field and turn perhaps a 2, 3, 4 possession or person possession down to an offensive opportunity very quickly.
Yeah, one thing that I think Coach Graurock would like to see is right now the midfield, when the Knights are getting the ball, everything's going to one side. There's no switching of the point of attack. Everything's going down. If it comes from the right side, it's staying on the right side. I think he'd like to see those midfielders take a peek. Can you switch it? Can we get the ball to the left side once in a while and attack? That way we keep those defenders off balance, not knowing where we're going to attack. See if Santos can look to the opposite side. We're in. Gamby. Good hustle,
And the goalie's still trying to get back in. Boy, I got to say, though, not on frame, not a lot of pepper on that, but a good shot. At least it's, again, an offensive play there. Mackenzie Cottle, though, and Laura Scow have really stepped it up over the last few minutes. The two of them just seem to be on every single Seahawk that gets the ball. One of the two of them is in their face.
Oh, yeah. You know, the nice thing about that play by Gamby and that ball through by Santos is those are momentum changers.
Yeah.
Just getting a little opportunity, you start to believe. Now Gamby believes, hey, I'm faster than this player. I have the confidence to go at her 1v1. There's Monson getting a Monson foul.
Yeah.
She gets knocked around a lot like that. Tough kid, she'll get up there and earns a yellow card against the other player.
Yeah, good to see her. Tell she's got a minute to walk that one off. Got up a little bit gingerly, but as you said, very tough. Expect her to be all right.
This is a dangerous opportunity for the Knights. Let's see. The key to me right now is to get something on frame. Not hit the ball over, not let the defense, but get some type of a shot on frame to keep the pressure on and build off of that opportunity by Gamby.
Alicia Blackham sends it into the middle. Cleared out, though, but the Knights there immediately to take it back. That's Laura Scow. And heads it in. So nothing on frame, nothing particularly striking, but still the Knights able to get the first opportunity and then immediately collect it and try for a second, which is a shift in what we've seen, or from what we've seen already from them in this half.
Yeah, the last 3-4 minutes now have been much better soccer by the Knights.
There's Gamby going ahead again. Boy, she went down and immediately was back up and running, all ready to get back in on that play.
She likes to wreak havoc on back lines. And that's her personality. She's just such a fun kid to be around, always in a good mood. She really, and that turns in her play. You can see that in her play.
There's a yellow card there. I believe that one going to Santos. Not sure what it was for. Didn't see anything particularly egregious. But, of course, the referee standing right next to her clearly had a better view of that than we did, but would be interested to know what the cause of that was.
Those are yellow cards that are really frustrating to a coach, not because of Santos or anything that she did, but because of the referee.
Yeah.
That's his way of saying, "Hey, I'm trying to get control of this game." But same type of situation with Cora Jewell in Marymount. Same situation. It
Yeah.
was a very soft foul that had been a very physical game.
Mm-hmm.
He gives a yellow card to set that tone. That's her 5th yellow card. Now she's out for this game.
Yeah.
So very
So-
frustrating from a coach's standpoint.
Yeah, so something that a referee may not see. Oh, great clear out there. Well defended by the Knights.
Corner kick.
Yeah, our very first one. So that's the 61st minute, I believe, of this game, and we're gonna get our first corner. But yeah, a referee, like you said, trying to get control of a game, not realizing the greater impact that has on the season by being someone's 5th.
Yeah, and there's the flip side. I would clear this ball. There's a flip side that says, okay, you shouldn't have gotten the 4 before that.
True.
but it is frustrating.
Sure. Well, and I was a big believer. And I never played basketball for my school, but I did play church ball. And there was one year I was a very, very short individual, and on a team of very, very good basketball players. Some of them who actually came here to SVU, the Henderson family. So at one point, they had 7 sons, all of whose names start with R, and I could probably get them, but out of order. There's Robert, Ronald, Raymond, Richard, Randall, Ryan, and Russell. And at one point,
Good job.
Thank you. We had Ronald coaching the team, and Randall, Ryan, and Russell on the team. So we were always pretty good. But I was the designated fouler. So my job was to go in and just pretty much mug people. And the thing that my coach always told me was, if you're going to get the foul, you may as well get your money's worth out of it. So you don't want to hurt anybody, but if you're going to foul a guy, you make sure he's not going to make the shot too. And I think that's the frustrating thing about some of those yellow cards is if you're going to get a yellow card, you want to make sure you make an impression, you get your money's worth out of it, not just a ticky-tack thing where you get the card and it doesn't actually help you at all.
That's funny because I always thought that in ward ball everybody's a designated fouler.
That's a valid point. That's why they don't allow 5-on-5 in the MTC.
My wife, I go to play basketball, and the one thing she always tells me every time I walk out the door is, "Don't get broke." That's her advice to me. Don't get broke. So I don't play basketball anymore.
Yeah, funny story about that as well. My wife, I love playing ultimate frisbee, and my wife was getting worried. I was getting a little heavier, and when I play frisbee, I play pretty hard. And we were actually playing one night on this field, and I came home after the game and pretended to hurt my back as I'm walking up, and my wife is all upset and yelling at me, "Oh, I told you not to get hurt," and all this, and I would tell her I was kidding, and she was very upset at me. And then the next week we played, and right about there on the 10-yard line on the right-hand side here, I went down, had a player fall across my leg, and hurt myself pretty badly, and I called my wife ahead of time and said, "I'm going to come home hurt, and I'm seriously hurt. I'm not playing around. just so you're aware, this is not. I'm not playing around this time." And I get home. Turns out I tore my ACL.
Oh wow,
really bad. But that same kind of situation where it's like, yeah. So
it's a good win by Sierra.
Yeah, Santos moving it up. Her aggression not to be stymied by a yellow card. Good movement as well. Riley Anderson and Tatiana Monson collapsing again.
Got Zoe Bradshaw's come in on that right side.
Yeah, good stop by her.
Zoe brings a lot of fire. She likes to run up and down. She'll go at players. Good technical ability. She's somebody who can be really dangerous in the final third.
Good cross that time by Anderson. One into the box. It's on frame. That's one of the best shots the Knights have had so far.
That's important for her. Start building confidence. I know I've seen her strike the ball from that distance. And she can find the back of the net. If she can build that confidence and know that she can do it and have time to set up that shot.
Mm-hmm. Now a lot of tangling up there. Knights back on defense again.
Good defensive stand right there by Bradshaw.
That was a great quick kick, too. Just a single touch to get it back to the offense. Gives them not a lot of time to collect themselves and get back. Smart play.
See, this is really going to be hard for me because I always confuse Zoe Bradshaw and Riley Anderson. and not so much anymore, but it just bugs them when I do it. So it's going to be tough for me not to call them each other's names where they're playing right next to each other on the field.
As if it wasn't hard enough. Great play at the sideline that time. Defense by Lexi McCarty, I believe.
That's a good ball. We just need to have somebody up top to be able to win that ball. Right now, our shape is not really particularly good. Our forwards, I think, are sagging back a little bit too far. In order to score, we've got to have numbers up there.
You're right. Multiple pieces to the puzzle necessary on that one. You've got the good look ahead, but without someone there to collect it, a pretty simple gather for the goalie.
Got a goal kick here. Looks like it'll be Alicia Blackham that's going to take this ball. Alicia's got a little bit of a different technique to taking these. Most players will take 4 or 5 steps up on them. She takes one step, a hop, and strikes it. But it works for her.
Well, whatever works for you. Sometimes the unorthodox actually makes it a little more difficult for defenders to adapt to. We were talking about that in the volleyball match we had yesterday. There's a left-handed server from Lynchburg College that just doing things a little bit differently, playing from the left hand there, put a different spin on it, made it very difficult for the Knights to handle. And I imagine the same thing's the case here.
Yeah, definitely. One thing, I think we've had a pretty tight battle here. If this goes to overtime, I wonder what the coaches are going to be doing with their lineups. Are they going to have to make any adjustments early or late? Or are they going to look for that right now, or do you think they're going to go for a win?
Well, I would imagine as late in the game as it is, both teams probably looking to close out this one and wrap it up as quickly as possible. I know for us on the broadcast team, it's been a long day as well. We want to come away with the win as quickly as possible rather than extending this one into the evening.
More soccer is the great life, right?
Absolutely. Never enough games.
Hey, I'm banking on that this isn't going to go to overtime. I can see one team's going to break through.
See, I'd ask for a guarantee on that, but it's only Mike Harmon who gives us guarantees. Speaking of people we've had on the soccer broadcast this year and soccer lovers out there, I'm sure he's anxiously watching this wherever he's at as well. I know he's particularly, because of his coaching of Tatiana Monson last year, I know they've got a great relationship, so I'm sure he's watching, if for no other reason, to support the team and her particularly.
Oh, there's
Good
Tatiana.
Chance.
Goal!
See, that's all you got to do. You give someone a shout out like that, and right like that, bam.
Great. That's a great finish by Tatiana Monson. She's so composed in front of the box. Turns with her left foot, puts the defender on her back, and buries a shot. And that's what you're looking for from your leaders.
Absolutely. Strong goal that time, and that really ramps up the pressure on St. Mary's now. 21 minutes, 9 seconds left in this game. And just as you talk about somebody breaking through and one team's jumping ahead, Southern Virginia does it. So now St. Mary's, only 21 minutes to equalize.
This next 5 minutes is very important for the Knights, both offensively and defensively. You don't want to get caught up in the highs, and there's Mackenzie Cox coming out. You don't want to get caught up in the highs of scoring a goal and be able to give up something easy and against a run of play. And vice versa, you've got a lot of momentum, a lot of energy. You really want to kind of put it to him right now and finish and close out this game.
Yeah, and a couple quick tries by the Seahawks. It's a very volatile time, as we've seen a couple of times this year. Both teams, both the men's and women's teams, sometimes after goals have had one immediately scored against them or immediately able to capitalize. The case, I believe, was the men's game about a week ago, where it seemed like every 4 minutes there was an additional goal.
Yeah, games like that are a lot of fun to watch. This momentum, same thing, in the men's game today. this St. Mary's Seahawks came out and they scored 2 goals on us, and in a short period of time, we went down 2-0. We came back in the next about 6 minutes from going down 2-0 and tied it up. So there were 4 goals in the span of maybe 15 minutes in that game.
So, great job by the referee splitting that one. Particularly after just a minute ago he got hit with the ball. So great effort by them. And that's another one of those situations the referee's always trying to stay out of the way, always both with their physical body and also with their calls. Sometimes just unable to do it.
Yeah, I've been very pleased with the way the officials have called both games today. This game, the officials done a very good job. If you're not talking about the referee, he's doing a good job.
Good sign.
Yeah,
yep.
In the men's game, there were some tempers that were going at it a little bit. at halftime, I may have mentioned to the assistant referee there, the AR on our sideline. I said, I hope a certain number was a subject of discussion at halftime. And he looked at me and says, he's a marked man. So, but I thought that they've done a very good job in this game and in the men's game.
Well, very glad to hear that. It means a lot, as you said, not only when you don't mention them, but when they can control a game without really being part of a game.
Yes, that's the key right there.
Oh,
that's a dangerous chance. That was a great turn. Great turn and great strike by that striker.
Yeah, 18 and a half minutes left. The Knights really, I don't think they need to turn down the pressure, really need to ramp it up even more, keep it on the offensive side of the ball and threaten to get a second goal in and put this game out of reach.
Yeah, right now what the Knights need to do is they need to slow the game down. When a team has momentum, you want to take the air out of the ball. And what that means is not let them play fast. Right now, St. Mary's wants to play fast. They want to get everything inbounds quickly. They want to play the ball down the wings. They want to go fast and take advantage of the momentum that they have. What the Knights need to do is take their time on some throw-ins right now. When they get the ball, hold the ball, hold possession, keep it amongst themselves. Get 4, 5, 6 passes together, maybe change the point of attack a couple of times, and get that momentum away from the Seahawks.
Well, and I think the point there is because when you go fast, things can go wrong quickly. When you're trying to go fast, when you're trying to execute quickly, mistakes. Boy, speaking of executing quickly, Gamby in on that one. Great defensive effort. But when you're trying to go very quickly, things can go awry. And if you go awry as you're down 0-1, well, okay, maybe you go down 0-2. But if you go down, if things go awry when you're up 1-0, you have a lot more to lose immediately by that equalizing goal.
Yeah, for sure.
So whereas St. Mary's needs the benefit perhaps of a little bit of chaos, the Knights should be content to just take it easy a little bit as they are. They've got the advantage. The clock is on their side at this point.
Well, yeah, got just under 17 minutes left to play. Possess the ball, knock it around. Don't give up any easy goals. If they're going to score a goal, they're going to have to really work for it. That's an unfortunate touch for the Seahawks. A little bit of a handball right there as it deflects off her. Nothing she did on purpose. But now, here's a good situation too. Slow the game down, not milk the clock, but the momentum. Be able to get the ball at our feet.
Yeah, and it looked like the Knights on that one were actually trying to move too fast for the referees' liking. Weren't ready for that free kick to come. Great header behind. Gamby gets involved again.
She has one speed. That's it. And there she earns herself a good cross. She earns a good cross there. Those are the plays that I think we talked about on the last broadcast. That's not going to show up in the stat book.
Exactly.
But right there, just that hustle and the turnover. When the ball, she shouldn't have gotten to that ball. But she just worked hard and was able to get an opportunity for her team.
Yeah, you're right. It definitely won't show up in the stat sheet. And really, that's one of those things. It's tough to even capture on a highlight reel because it's not perhaps the big flare that you see. It's not scoring a goal. It's not even getting a great assist, but it's just a great stop. That makes it difficult to quantify the value of.
And to young players that are watching out there, Okay, that's not to say that it doesn't go unnoticed, because you've got
Yeah.
guys like me
Yeah.
and coaches that are watching. Those are the things that I look for. If you want to play the college game of soccer, one of the best players that I ever coached, played in Utah, and I don't think she scored more than 1 or 2 goals a season. She ended up going on to play in the national pool. In the national team, and winning a national championship in a Division I national championship as a freshman.
Wow.
But what she did well is all the little things. When she received the ball, she never lost it, and she made her team look good. Those are the types of things that we're really. Do we want goal scorers? You bet. Do we want flashy players that can really put the ball in the net? Everybody wants those players, but we're also looking for other intangibles that you may not notice, to the normal person.
Yeah, well, and everybody on the field can't be one of those people. If they are, it's not going to be a very good team. Everybody's looking for the same thing. But as you mentioned, it's people who bring those intangibles, who bring those other things to the table, who find other ways to make great contributions in other areas that are still very much needed, and as you said, make everybody else look better because of the positions it puts them in.
Yeah, we've had another sub here. It looks like we've got Haley Grimmer that has come on. I'm going to try and look and see who she came on for, but my initial thought is that she came on for Mackenzie Cottle, but I can't see on the field yet. So yes, we have confirmation that it was Mackenzie Cottle that she came on for.
Yeah, great collapsing defense that time. The Knights just swarming around the defender, not allowing them to play the ball out at all. And again, content to take their time just a little bit, as they should be. Leading now 1-0. The goal scored about 8 minutes ago now. And just trying to prevent the equalizer from St. Mary's.
That's a dangerous ball. She can keep it in.
And she just barely does. Sends it across. Just high off the foot of the Seahawk player. Again, not to say Cox wasn't ready for it, but when you've got someone that close to the net with that wide a berth.
As a goalkeeper, you don't like those balls, even if they go over, because you know that it's just a matter of time before they start putting that ball on frame.
You were saying right there, Grimmer in the lineup.
Also, Savannah Patillo has come on in the midfield as well, number 21. A week ago, Art, I had to look at the rosters every time I was looking at a player, because I didn't know all the players' names. But I had the fantastic opportunity on Wednesday when we traveled to Marymount to go play up there. Coach Randy Klein had a prior engagement that she couldn't make it to the game as the assistant coach. So Coach Grawrock asked me if I would sit on his sidelines and help out with him. And so I got to know a lot of the girls a little bit more about their personalities. Fantastic group of girls. I had a ton of fun. These girls work really hard for their coach. They respect the game, and it was a great win. We ended up winning in double overtime. We got a goal. Tatiana Monson scored a goal in double overtime for her second goal of the game to win the game. So, good overall experience.
Well, that's another great thing, as you mentioned there. We saw a little bit about it as well during the halftime, as they talked about the seniors here on senior night, that they're not just great soccer players, that they're great people. We also heard that they're great students. They were really accentuating that during the broadcast as well, talking about being on the provost list, being on the president's list, and that's a difficult thing to do even if you're not doing intercollegiate sports, to find the time and have, frankly, the talent to do that as well. But to do that in addition to playing a sport, or as we've mentioned, multiple sports, it really just speaks to the well-roundedness of a lot of the players.
Yeah, we have great kids in both programs, and to be honest with you, in all the athletics that I've been around the basketball team quite a bit. I know a bunch of the women's basketball players that are playing for Coach Roberts there, the soccer, football, and academics.
Yeah.
You know, you can't play soccer you can't play any of your sports unless you have the academics. But for the most part, we don't have to worry about that because we've got such great, well-rounded athletes here.
well-rounded, and they're also just they're really just nice people. I was driving back up to campus in between games, just popping around, and saw somebody walking up towards campus, and decided to offer him a ride. What do you know, if it's not our tight end Carroll, and just pull up and said, hey, can I give you a ride? He goes, yeah, I'm just headed up to the CAF, and just jumps in, so unassuming, just this nice, quiet guy, who just was very personal. And I said, tough game today, and he said, yeah, it's no fun losing, and we just got to know him a little bit, and just a really nice guy. And despite him having a really impressive season so far, it's not I'm the tight end, I'm this, he's just very nice, humble guy.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun getting to know a lot of the student athletes here on campus.
Yeah, you get that from all over the place. Caitlin Slustig, works in Jonesy's, the cafe here on campus. So, again, just not we don't have a lot of prima donnas around here, which you see in athletics and in some programs at times as well. But just a lot of good people, and I hate to use the term normal people, because I think they really are very exceptional in a lot of ways, but a lot of them don't see themselves as exceptional.
Well, I think the term that I would use would be down to earth.
Yep.
The very down to earth and grounded kids who are out here for the right reason. They want to play their sport, but they also know they're getting a good education. And that's why if you look at the academics, you look at the rosters, it's full of academic All-Americans, academic Dean's List, Provost List, that type of stuff in all the different sports.
Yeah, and it makes such a difference, I think, in the players when you see those priorities, when you see that they value their commitment to their team, but they also value great defensive header, by the way, by Riley Anderson. But when you see their commitment to more than their program, to their education, to their school, to their community.
Yeah, you look at players like on our men's side, Jared Atteridge. Number 2, he scores goals. He's a starter for our team. He also sang the national anthem today. Did a great job. Very well-rounded. I heard him today on campus before I came to the football game. I heard somebody singing, and I didn't even realize he was singing the national anthem. And he was over there, and now I realize, hey, he was over there practicing. I thought it was very, very good.
Yeah, it's just developing a lot more than athletes, but people. I think that's really. That's probably something that a lot of places claim to be, but I've really seen to be true here at Southern Virginia.
Yeah, we have looks like Haley Grimmer came off, and as well as Savannah Patillo came off, and now we've got back in the midfield. We've got Gabby Santos and Mackenzie Cottle, number 26. Mackenzie Cottle has come on as well on that left side.
Yeah, the Knights trying to salt this one away now. Great save by Cox.
The thing that impresses me about Mackenzie Cox back there, she makes a lot of saves, but she makes them look easy. That's not an easy save. That's a shot that's inside the 18-yard box. She doesn't give up a rebound. It's just calm, that really helps out a team. When you see your goalkeeper back there being able to make saves like that, you don't get rattled. It adds confidence to your back line.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what's impressed me most. You're talking about making it look easy. I'm saying she never really gets frustrated, or she doesn't let it show. It's, oh yeah, it got to me, I got this.
And some goalkeepers you have that, they get a shot on them or something happens and they kind of get after their back line, they get after their defenders. And I've never seen Mackenzie do that, even after a goal. It's always positive. Hey, this is what we need to do. There may be some communication that's going on there. But it's never a frustration. It's never a getting upset. It's always a leadership.
Yeah, I watched the World Cup this last year, and there's a particular goalie for the U.S. men's team who tends to do that just a little bit.
Yes, he does. And here's the thing: when you get to that level, sometimes players need that. When they're playing at that level, sometimes players need that. At this level, some of these girls are very, for lack of better terms, it's a fragile state.
Yeah.
There's a lot of freshmen that are playing, and Mackenzie does a very good job of nurturing them and mentoring them. At the same time, knowing that, hey, you're here to support me. You're here to make me look good. So shape up, but at the same time, hey, I'm not mad at you. Let's just get it better.
Yeah, and unless your goalie's last name is Howard here, then you're probably okay.
Yeah.
But you're right. I think it's an important to have that balance, because on the one hand, you want to get a little upset if your defense is letting 10, 12, 14 shots get to you in a half. You don't want to say, it's okay, guys, because I'm a good goalie.
Yeah.
Because you have to function as a unit. Just like on the offensive side, you can't expect to win it by yourself or get good scoring chances by yourself. On the defensive side, you can't expect to prevent good scoring chances by yourself, whether
Yeah.
you're a goalie or defenseman or whoever.
Yeah, soccer. I've heard it said many times is the ultimate team sport. You have to play as a team to be successful against successful teams. Because if I have a very successful and a good team, I've got a chance here for Gamby. I love that unselfish play right there, and then Tatiana tries to reward her by giving it back. You have to. If I've got a team that's not playing well together, I'm licking my chops as a coach playing against them, because I can I can stretch them with little things. I can stretch that back line if they're not playing together. If there's one player who's trying to do too much, there's certain ways that as a coach you can really dictate how to attack that player, and it just doesn't work. So you really have to play as a team in soccer.
Well, and I think it's easy to splinter people as well, because the lines and the units are so important. Then all you have to do is start fracturing. Oh,
that's a heartbreaker right there. There's really nothing that Mackenzie Cox can do to save that. That's just a fantastic strike by the Seahawks.
Yeah, and the equalizing goal that they were looking for. Now, 3 minutes and 51 seconds. The Knights with an opportunity perhaps to come back and win this one, but either team needing to assert themselves now and break this deadlock. As we mentioned, the first 4 or 5 minutes after a goal, very tumultuous, and we'll have to see now which team is going to come away with the advantage, or if we're going to overtime.
I loved the commitment to defense there by Riley Anderson. She lost that ball in the midfield. A lot of players, the tendency is to put your head down and say, oh, shoot. But she didn't. She got her head up, tracked all the way back there, and was able to force that bad ball wide. That could have been a really dangerous situation.
Cross to the middle, speaking of dangerous. Lots of white jerseys around. And Mackenzie Cox able to come up, or no. And that's going to be a corner.
Right now, it's important for Mackenzie to get her back line organized, to get the girls relax. It's not the end of the world right now. All we have to do is clear this ball. Don't give up something silly right now, something easy.
Jillian Sawyer plays it into the middle. Great clear out by the Knights, but the threat's still there.
Sorensen breaking out. This is a good chance. It looks like the Knights have numbers. You got Gamby in deep.
Just tracking that ball, but St. Mary's now coming back on it as well. Well, you asked the question earlier, and I'm going to ask you to answer it now. What do you think? If you're SVU or you're St. Mary's, do you try to go to overtime, or do you play for the win?
Go for the win. Right now, with the time that's left, you have to go for the win right now. Nobody wants to go into overtime right as it is.
That is very true. 2 minutes now and ticking. Tied at 1-1. Both goals coming late. The first one about halfway through the second half by the Knights, and the second one just a couple of minutes ago by St. Mary's.
Cox is telling St. Mary's thank you for that last free kick, because they played it short, but just 2 minutes before that, they hit a free kick and scored a goal from that exact same spot.
Yep.
Here's a dangerous chance.
Not sure if that was a wide shot or an arced pass.
Off the crossbar. Got to clear this ball now. Clear the ball.
And the Knights managed to do just that. Wow, what What a narrow miss there. The Knights looking.
The look on Alexis's face says it all right there.
Yeah, the look of, we thought we had this squared away. It looked like it was done, but it is not.
Now I'm switching gears. As a coach, I'm getting to halftime or getting to overtime.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm telling my girls just clear the ball, get the ball out of danger, and get to the overtime.
Good save that time by Cox yet again. With Gamby ahead like that, are you still in half mode?
Right now I'm getting into overtime. If we get a chance, I'm going to take it, but I'm not going to commit too many numbers forward.
It looks like St. Mary's doing the same thing. Playing back. 12 seconds. And if a shot's going to come, it has to come now. And that will do it. And we go into overtime. The Knights tied with St. Mary's at the half, 0-0, taking the lead halfway through the second. And wouldn't you know, the last game of the day today, the first one we have, that goes into overtime. So all of you sports fans out there watching the broadcast today that just haven't had enough SVU athletics yet, your wish has been granted. We've got a 5-minute break here, but then we are back for the first of 2 possible overtime periods. So we will break away here for just a minute and be back in about 4 minutes for the beginning of the overtime, Southern Virginia versus St. Mary's. Welcome back, everybody. We are here for the first of 2 potential overtime periods. Southern Virginia women's soccer, we just haven't had enough yet. So the Knights tied with St. Mary's Seahawks. The Seahawks getting out ahead of that one very quickly, but great job by the Knights to collapse on that and shut it down. Coach, 10-minute periods, and it is golden goal. So the first score will end it. And if at the end of 2 overtime periods nobody scores, then it goes in the books as a tie, correct?
Goes in as a tie.
Well, at this point, obviously, if you're the Knights, you're playing for the win and wanting to apply pressure early, I imagine. What do you do as a coach as you come into an overtime period? What are you telling your team? What's the focus?
As in an overtime period with the golden goal being the result, me personally, my coaching philosophy is go for broke.
Yep.
I'm going to throw numbers forward, go and try and put the game away early. The longer the game goes with overtime, especially being the home team, the more chance you're going to have of ending in a tie. I like to see a game end in the first 2, 3, 4 minutes of overtime. But even at that, even if it goes the full 20 minutes of double overtime, I'm throwing everybody forward, taking some chances, taking some gambles, and really trying to go for that win.
Yeah, I agree. Certainly the 2, 3, 4 minute version of overtime is what I'm sure Coach Graurock is looking for, and I imagine St. Mary's as well, wanting to wrap this one up quickly. Both of them, again, the more time you give the other team as well, the more you leave yourself open.
Yeah. Overtime's about emotion. Which team wants it more, how much effort you're willing to put into that. And when you're putting numbers forward, the longer you get into the overtime, you start to break down both mentally and your body physically breaks down. So you definitely want to try and close it out as quickly as you can.
Well, especially as much as the Knights have been running tonight, I imagine you wouldn't be real happy if you got down to the end of a 5K and they said, hey, it's overtime, go run another 2K. So the Knights, I think that's probably one of the most difficult things, especially with the Knights getting the lead there late in the second, is the idea that, okay, I only have to make it this far. I've got to make it 15 more minutes. I give it everything I've got for 15 more minutes. Okay, I've got 10 more minutes. Oh, they just scored. Okay, well, we've got to win. We've got to give it everything we can to win, and then all of a sudden you've got another 10-minute period ahead of you.
That's why when we do sprints, we never tell the players how many they're going to do. And then we'll tell them, all right, you're done. And say, nope, actually, let's do a couple more. Not really, but that's the way I like to think about it.
Yeah. Well, both teams have had good chances so far. This time the Seahawks favored a bit, but the Knights defenders getting in there, and that did not look comfortable.
That's a hard fall. I don't know that there was a whole lot of contact. That's one of those. It's not an intentional foul, but they got hung up. Mackenzie Cottle is rewarded for her work by getting to the ball first. The girl takes her down just a little bit, and it's a foul. It's nothing, no harm, but it is a foul.
Sure, and it's especially after you've been running as much as they have, you can get twisted the wrong way with your leg up like that. You can strain something very easily. So the risk goes up just a little bit.
Oh yeah. It's gotten a little chilly out there as well, gotten cold over the last about 20-30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
So it's very important to make sure that the girls are staying active, not standing around a lot, especially when subs come in.
Good cross there.
Ooh,
man, that could have gone very badly.
That was very dangerous.
All the way through the box, untouched even from one side all the way to the other.
Well, we've got a little bit of a break in the action here. I have to say, my Youth 12 Celtic FC team is sitting in Las Vegas right now at a tournament at the Las Vegas Mayor's Cup, watching and listening to this game. 1-0 win yesterday and a 5-0 win today, so I'm really proud of those girls and wanted to say hi to them if you'll let me do that. We've got some Southern Virginia fans out there on the West Coast.
Oh, very glad to hear that. Happy to let you do that, and congratulations to them on their pair of wins as well.
Thank you. It's been that team's been a lot of fun. My daughter is the goalkeeper on that team, and so she hasn't allowed a goal in the tournament yet. But they've got some tough games still ahead of them. But it'll be fun for her. This, in fact, is my first tournament that I've ever missed that my daughter's played in. So
Well, for those of you watching, please know Coach King has been talking you guys up all day, has been looking for opportunities to talk about you, and rightly so. Sounds well deserved. So while his body is here with us and his mind at times as we need it, I know that at least a chunk of his heart is out there with you guys as well. The Knights with a try at the other end doesn't come to fruition, but now halfway through this first overtime period, the deadlock continues, and the Seahawks now getting a little bit more on the offensive.
now that the first couple of minutes, first 5 minutes of that overtime have elapsed. Teams are starting to calm down a little bit. At first, both teams are going end to end, and I think they're slowing down a little bit. Well, all except for Gamby.
I was going to say, clearly you didn't see who just got the ball. Yeah, Seahawks a lot dropped back in defense, though. The Knights looking to move it back downfield. Sierra Sorensen looking ahead to Mackenzie Cottle. But the counter is on by Liz Mosher.
Good ball out wide. Good defending by Alexis.
Yeah, great job to stay in front of the offensive player there, to know the angle, which is tough to do with the goal behind you, to know exactly your position on the field relative to the goal. But great job staying in front of that.
You look at the back line of the Knights. You've got Alexis Clements, who is a sophomore. You've got Cody Park, who is a freshman back there. Alicia Blackham, who, and I'm not sure if she's in right now, but she has been playing. Look at the future of that back line. The experience that they're getting this year. You have Laura Scow is the only senior on that back line for the Knights. There's a lot of good soccer to be played in for years to come here. And to be honest with you, Alexis in that back line, she doesn't play like a sophomore. She plays like a junior senior.
Yeah, Blackham in, as you see her right there on the shot. And as you mentioned also, lots of room to grow, particularly when you have the benefit as a freshman or sophomore to learn from the experience of a Mackenzie Cox or a Laura Scow.
Yeah, for sure. This could be a dangerous ball you get if we get... she's going to win that foot race.
Oh,
a penalty or a foul called there.
Just outside the
box. Yeah,
box.
they called it. This is a great opportunity. Again, whether they score or not, this is something that needs to be put on frame. They need to get an opportunity and test that goalkeeper, make her make a save.
Gamby got up, looked like she had a little bit, took a couple of steps to shake a limp out. Seems to be doing okay now. And a great chance here for the Knights. Laura Scow on the ball. Sends it in. And goalie able to collect it.
That's all right. That's a shot on goal, making her make a save. Mentally, that's a good chance.
Ball played ahead. Good effort, Alexis Clements there to break it up, slow down the possession. Just a minute and a half left in this first overtime period. Seahawks now looking to get aggressive, find an open shot, and the Knights just tenacious on the defense. Great pressure that time, forcing the ball out.
Got 1 minute in overtime left in this first overtime. They'll have a 2-minute break in between. If we get to that point, they'll have a 2-minute break, and they'll be right back at it.
We can only hope. Great clearance as well. Knight defenders. And looking ahead now, that's Gamby again. Out in that foot race, but just playing it ahead.
That's an unlucky touch right there. If she's able to keep that in bounds, she had her moves set up, ready to get in behind.
20 seconds now, the ball at midfield. The Seahawks perhaps with the last possession of this first overtime period. And the Knights clear that out. And the double overtime on the last game of the quadruple header is on. Again, we'll break away for about 2 minutes here and be back for the second overtime period. This, we promise, will be the last of our broadcast today. One way or another, it will end either during or after this next 10-minute period. Once again, we'll be back in 2 minutes. Southern Virginia women's soccer versus St. Mary's. Double overtime, tied at 1 apiece. And we are back for the second overtime period of the fourth game of the day. Southern Virginia women's soccer versus St. Mary's. The Seahawks equalizing at the end with about, I believe it was 8 minutes left, thereabouts, in the second half. Both teams, you can tell, fairly exhausted at this point, but 10 minutes left of soccer. At the most, one of these teams, you predicted earlier, one team would come ahead and we wouldn't go to overtime. So, first of all,
I've never been any good at predictions anyways.
Hey, I was going to say, and yet here we are. But at this point, what do you think? Prediction from here?
I don't even want to try.
I was going to say, if you're no good at predictions, predict that it'll end in a tie, and then one way or another before that, we'll see.
I will say the first half of this game was a little uneventful, but the second half and the overtime has been good soccer. It's been fun end-to-end action, but it's been fun to watch.
Absolutely. Well, the Knights gaining possession so far, keeping it on that half of the field.
It's a big step up by Alicia right there. An overlapping run in here with our outside back, getting a ball in.
Send it into the box. Good to see that. We did have a player down.
I'll let you guess who it is.
I'm going to say Tatiana Monson.
It was.
Yeah. As we pan back across the field, we see, what we don't see is a Southern Virginia player crumpled on the ground, which is a good sign. Imagine she, again, the tough girl that she has, got up and is all right. And even if she's not, is probably playing through it.
She's going to play through it. In Marymount, it was raining during our game, and Tatiana was so congested. She had a really bad cold. She came off. She couldn't even breathe during the halftime of overtime. I asked her, if you're all right. She says, I'm fine. So
can't breathe, but can put get enough lungs there, air in the lungs to
wheezing
reply.
and wheezing and hunched over, but
Dangerous opportunity. The Seahawks looking in middle of the field. Good defense. The Knights able to collapse on that and abort that offensive possession. Yeah, Tatiana Monson seems to be one of those people who,
we dodged a bullet right there.
Wow, I was not saying anything because I was holding my breath. But Tatiana Monson seems to be one of those people that doesn't ask her body if it's okay to go on. She seems to be one that tells her body, hey, there's work to be done here. I'll deal with you later.
Yeah, and that's what you want to see in a very competitive athlete.
Right at 7 minutes now, the Knights trying to get something together offensively. So far, the Seahawks, after that first 30 seconds or so in this half, have really dominated possession.
Gonna have a corner kick here. This is, again, get organized. I've been under a little bit of pressure. Get everybody organized, get everybody marked, clear the ball, and see if we can counter something quickly.
6:45 now. The clock continues to wind. Corner comes in. A little bit long. And the Knights able to clear it out. Oh, and that time certainly not slowing down Gamby as a result of being out of gas, but realizing she was well offsides at that point. Once she played it back, knew she couldn't be involved in the play.
And you like to see that. You like to see when players realize the situations that they're in. Mm-hmm. She being a freshman, she's a young freshman as well. I believe she's only 17 or just turned 18 years old. Mm. But at this point in the game, I believe we are 16 games into the season. Mm-hmm. They're not freshmen anymore.
Yeah.
They're looking and they're very, very experienced, and you start to see things happen that you're looking for the future.
Yeah, it shows right there in the awareness to make such a heads-up play. Especially, it'd be really easy to let the emotion get the better of you, the excitement of, hey, I've got a chance to play this one ahead. We can finally close this one out. But to realize the situation and not make that error. Once again, Laura Scow playing up defensively, really just making it difficult. That one sent in the middle, played back out. Scow again. Boy, she has just been all over the place tonight defensively. Seems like there's been 2 or 3 people out there wearing number 20 with just as versatile as she's been, as she's been able to get anywhere that they've needed her.
Yeah, they play hard all of the time, but when you've got senior night, you've got your parents here watching, your family, people are here to watch you and to honor you. The last thing they want to do is not have a fantastic performance. Well, a shot. That ball goes wide, but again, it's a deep shot. She doesn't strike it particularly well. There's really not a worry for Mackenzie in the back.
Four minutes now. The Seahawks still relatively dominant in this overtime period. The Knights now looking to get the counter on, though.
You can see the exhaustion out there.
Oh yeah, on both teams.
The Knights played a double overtime game on Wednesday. Had 2 days of 2 days of training, Thursday and Friday, and then playing now their second double overtime game of the week. You can tell they're just exhausted.
Yeah, that'll wear on you quick.
Especially when you get a team. The Knights are deep, but not particularly deep.
Mm-hmm.
They have a rotation of about 16, 15 players. But Coach has done a good job of getting rest when needed, so that they are fresh. Coach Graurock's been doing this for a while, and he knows what he's doing.
What he's doing right now is trying to prevent the loss.
Oh, there she is. So that's a big save by a veteran goalkeeper, knowing when to come off her line. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, great play that time by Cox. And as you mentioned, the difficult thing is knowing the rules, but knowing when to break them. And in that case, the result is saving a potential goal. That one finds its way through. As you mentioned, exhaustion again. You can tell the response times of these players just not quite as sharp as they were earlier.
Oh yeah, right now they're playing on true grit and determination. Throw the mechanics out the window. It's just they're just trying to hold on right now and just playing off a heart.
Something I can understand. 2.5 minutes left. Winding down again. The Knights still on the defensive, yet to really put together a great offensive opportunity to try to pull off the win. At this point, perhaps just trying to prevent the loss as the Seahawks really stepping up that pressure on the attack. Gamby over to Monson. He's moving it down the field, back to Gamby. And there's a bit of an offensive chance. But immediately back over to the Seahawks. And who else but number 20, Laura Scow, there to break it up. Now with 1.5 minutes to play.
It's desperation time right now. I'd like to see Monson pull a little bit higher line. Try and go. She's best when she's going at the goal in behind the defenders, and she can't do that in the deep position that she's at right now.
And that possession over to the Knights. Now with perhaps one final opportunity with 1 minute left. See which team can dial up some pressure here to close out.
That's a good through ball.
And that one right
Cox
into the hands of
go
Cox.
quickly.
And you can tell she's doing just that. Not content to close it out with a tie, but immediately looking to get back.
Oh, she wants to win this game.
Gamby with a header. Playing it up
again.
again.
That's a handball. Referee missed that. That
30
could have
seconds.
been dangerous.
Now the counter from St. Mary's. Scow right there again. The cross comes. Well defended. That time 10 seconds left. And certainly at that point, that's going to do it. And after double overtime, the Southern Virginia Knights tie the St. Mary's Seahawks 1-1. I'll leave it here with Coach King for just a minute. We're going to get Coach Graurock for an interview here. His thoughts on the game, and then we will wrap up for the evening.
Coach Graurock's got to be happy right now with the way that his girls play. They fought. One thing that I liked from a spectator standpoint is the girls fought all the way to the end. Be interesting to see what he has to say. As soon as we track him down there, we'll get his comments. But either way, it was a hard-fought game that it's hard to see anybody lose, and we didn't. So see what he has to say about this game, and we'll be right back. Well, thank you, Art and Coach Grawrock. And again, we want to say thank you for tuning into our broadcast of women's soccer here at the fields at Southern Virginia University, where we had your Southern Virginia University Knights and St. Mary's Seahawks tied 1-1. And we want to say thank you and tune in again. Have a good night.